Let's finish this out with Al and Nancy. I've heard this a couple times, but repetition is good, especially if you understand it and use it.
Really sobbing. And he said, great. He said, I want you to imagine two people, Al and Nancy. And Nancy is cashing great checks, having a great time. Al, he's not cashing any checks at all. And imagine, if you will, he says to me, they enrolled under the same system. They paid the same price to come in. The same meetings are available. Obviously, they're marketing the same product. They got the same comp plan. They're working the same amount of hours. They're really committed. They have the same hygiene. They come from the same socioeconomic background. They got the same upline. They live in the same city, he says. And they got the same sponsor. And why is Al not cashing any checks at all if everything's the same and Nancy's cashing huge checks? And I said three words that changed our lives. Those three words were, I don't know. And he threw his arms over his head and he said, Eureka, you got a chance to make a lot of money. The difference between the check cashers and the non-check cashers is skills. If we're going to make some money, we need to learn some skills. So let's learn the most people's skill so you'll know exactly what to say and get lots of happy endings at each one of the critical points. Getting them to agree to look, getting them to show up, getting them to enroll, and getting them to produce.
Those are the skills.
There's an old saying, I got good news and I got bad news. And most people want the bad news first. Goals, attitude, and persistence, nice fun hobbies, they won't build your business. You want social proof? Great. If you've got goals written down, show them to some people and see if they join. And as far as attitude, for years, network marketers, when people come to them and say, I got a lot of no's, and of course the upline is going to give them a speech about attitude and how great the company is going to be and say, go get 100 more. Well, telling people to go get no's isn't going to get it done. And of course, while they might have a better attitude and feel better about themselves, their results aren't going to change. And the persistence thing, I mean, how many speeches have we heard about you got to have the eye of the tiger and the heart of a lion? Well, I got a news flash for you. Dead animal body parts won't build your business either. All right, so let's get into the skill. First, we're going to define a few things so we can establish a common vocabulary and pick up some speed. And then we're going to go over the recruiting protocol. It might not be what you call it on your team, my vocabulary for the recruiting protocol, but let's just use it through this. And then I'm going to show you how to use those two words, most people, and give you a simple concept behind it so you can use that skill 4 different ways and collect positive responses at the 4 key junctures. Now here's the recruiting protocol, and I like the phrase, the 3-step plan, because every time you use simple language, people learn it faster. They don't have to remember what it means. So the recruiting protocol is a 3-step plan, and it's step 1. We strike interest, sort, and book a follow-up. We measure our success rate based on, did we book a follow-up? Don't tell me how great you did at step 1 if you didn't book a follow-up. Okay, step 2 is when the prospect reviews the information. Could be a third-party tool, could be an in-home meeting, coffee shop meeting, webinar, hotel meeting, but that's when you show them your deal. And then at step 3, we do our job, which is to collect decisions. We want to live by John Wooden's rule. The more concerned we are about the things we cannot control, the less we'll do about the things we can control. So at step 2 and step 3, while we can use skills to tip the scale in your favor, the hard reality is those are the prospect's decisions. The only place that you have control is at step 1. You're the one that initiates the process. And the more often you do that, and the more successfully you do that, the more people you have reviewing information, the more decisions you're collecting, and the more money you're making. Statement a couple of times that a distributor's job is to collect decisions, and of course we always want to begin with the end in mind. So let's just do a little math and have them compared here so you can see what a significant difference it is. Look at, if you're operating under the illusion of the MLM's idea of what the 80-20 rule means, you're going to get clobbered by people that know what they're doing. Okay, look at the math. 20% of the people agree to review the information out of 100 that you contacted, and you teach that concept without teaching the skill of how to get a yes more often, then you're going to have 100 reps times 100 contacts, right? Times 20% agreeing to look. You have 2,000 people look that week. I talk to 100 people and get 80% agree to look because of the simple most people skill, and teach it to 100 people. So if 100 reps times the same 100 contacts each times 80%, there's 8,000 looking. What's the difference? 6,000. That's the difference. Over the course of the year, it's 300,000. One team collects 300,000 more decisions over the course of a year. Who's going to make more money? All right, I'm sure you get it now. Why it's important to understand A, what the job is, and B, learn a skill so you and your team can do better at the job. Most people really believe that the bars in a tiger's cage are what traps the tiger in the cage. You know, when we look at things differently, and that's what all these previous slides were really for, was to help you or bring you through a story using most people several times to help you look at things differently, including what a distributor's job is. You see, it's not the bars that trap the tiger in the cage, it's the spaces between the bars. And when we look at things differently, things look different to us. So I hope you're looking at things now differently, which is your job, and what you want to teach your teams their job is what? To collect decisions. And the more successful they can do that, the happier they are, the more calls they make, and the more money everybody makes. Just have to find the right people is the biggest lie in network marketing. The right people are everywhere. Everybody says they'd like more time. Everybody says they'd like more money. And everybody knows that people would like to pay less in taxes. If they join your business, you're promising or helping them attain more time, more money, and lower taxes. So the question isn't, how do you find the right people? The question is, if what you're offering is more time, more money, and lower taxes, and everybody wants more time, more money, and lower taxes, why do they say no? Well, it all depends on one thing, what we do and what we say, okay, which is really the same thing. If you're not sure, try this with your honey. It's the same thought expressed two different ways. Honey, when I look in your eyes, time stands still. That's about time standing still. Now try it this way. Honey, your face could stop a clock. You're going to get two completely different reactions. What's the difference? Well, there's no difference in the concept. What's different is the word you chose. So let's learn exactly what to do and what to say. Because if we improve at step one, which is not talking about the plan, the product, or the company, we experience explosive growth. So the two most powerful words that I've ever found in all my years, 20 plus years of network marketing, are most people. The most people skill can be used 4 ways, minimum. This is tremendous leverage. Teach one thing, win 4 of those ends. Will eliminate fear of the dreaded question, have negative people ask us for a presentation, get the follow-up appointment within 24 hours, eliminate all objections, and enroll 94%, all for learning one skill. So let's look at an example of the most people skill. Just sit back, relax, and imagine that you're the prospect. I brought up the business, and you asked me the dreaded question. Are you curious about what that dreaded question is? It's the one no distributor wants to hear, especially new people. And then we'll cover an application in several different areas, inviting, booking a follow-up, and getting them to look at what you have right now. So what is that dreaded
Well, we're going to get to the rest of this later. We don't have time to do it here, but most people need to learn skills in recruiting, and it's one of the hardest things. Uh, a lot of the people nowadays let technology shift to the people because they don't know the skills on how to really recruit one-on-one in person. Good day.